हेलो एवरीवन, वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू। आज है 10 अप्रैल 2023, दिन है मंडे और आज हम करने जा रहे हैं द इंडियन एक्सप्रेस के न्यूज़ एनालिसिस। इस वीडियो के थ्रू कम्प्लीटली द इंडियन एक्सप्रेस के न्यूज़ एनालिसिस होगी। वीडियो पसंद हो तो वीडियो को लाइक करें, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें। फर्स्ट पेज पे रिमाइंड्स पार्टी ऑफ पोल, कांग्रेस ने हेडेक किया बैक एंड पायलट से गैलोर सिटिंग टू ग्राफ्ट केसेस से सीएम डिड नॉट रिप्लाई टू टू लेटर ही रोट AICC इंचार्ज हेड और जयपुर। The ruling Congress was grappling with the new crisis. Rajasthan, where assembly elections are due later this year after the senior leader Sachin Pilot accused Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot sitting on the corruption case against the previous Vasundhara Raje-led BJP government. Addressing a press conference on Sunday, his resident Jaipur, Pilot ने कहा कि former deputy chief minister announced a day-long protest Tuesday to demand action in the case. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे पीएम मोदी ने विजिट किया है संडे चर्च में। मे द स्टेट डिपेंड ऑन द स्पिरिट ऑफ द हारमोनी। जब प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी विजिट कर रहे हैं स्क्रैट हार्ट कैथेड्रल चर्च इन न्यू दिल्ली संडे इवनिंग में ओकेजन ऑफ ईस्टर। ड्यूरिंग हिज हाफ ऑफ द आवर दैट द स्पेंड देयर, प्राइम मिनिस्टर वाज ग्रीटिंग प्रीस्ट एंड द फेथफुली जॉइंड देम टू प्रेयर। ही लेटर took a Twitter and posted the photograph of his visit and cathedral. Today, on a very special occasion of Easter, I had opportunity to visit Sacred Heart Cathedral in Delhi, so also meet the spiritual leader from the Christian community, he said. Next articles पे IIT Bombay suicide फर्स्ट ईयर स्टूडेंट अरेस्ट ऑन द चार्ज ऑफ अबेटमेंट। स्पेशल इन्वेस्टिगेशन टीम की SIT की मुंबई पुलिस ने प्रोब कर एलेस्ट सुसाइड ऑफ द दर्शन सोलंकी, फर्स्ट ईयर स्टूडेंट ऑफ द IIT बॉम्बे। संडे अरेस्ट वन ऑफ द हिज बैचमैन ऑन द चार्ज ऑफ द अबेटमेंट ऑफ सुसाइड। तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे इंटरिम टाइगर रिपोर्ट सिंगल बिगर गेन सम वार्निंग। टाइगर नंबर में बी मच मोर देन द लेटेस्ट फिगर 3167। जब फिफ्थ साइकिल ऑफ द टाइगर सेंसस की इवेल्यूशन कर रही है टाइगर रिजर्व इन द इंडिया, रिलीज बाय द प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी ऑन संडे एंड स्टेट द नंबर ऑफ द बिग कैट इन कंट्री 3167 इन 2022। ऑफिशियल एनवायरमेंटल मिनिस्ट्री ने कहा है कि इंटरिम द फिगर है। ये स्प्रिट एस्टिमेट प्रोसेस इज स्टिल अंडरवे एट द वाइल्ड लाइफ इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ द इंडिया। ऑन द फाइनल एस्टिमेट आर अवेलेबल, द गेन इन द Taiwan number is likely be significantly higher than the margin of the 200, which is the interim figure of the 3167 compared with the 2967 report in the 2018। तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे छत्तीसगढ़ में कम्युनल क्लास देखी गई है। टेंशन सिमर इन मोर मंथ बिफोर द इरप्टिंग। 12 अरेस्ट किए गए आफ्टर द किलिंग ऑफ यूथ। पुलिस सेटअप की गई है डिप्लोमेट। The village of roughly 1,200 people in Chhattisgarh are the edge of the Congress government in state under the BJP fire after the communal class claimed by the 23-year-old man live in Saturday. While the immediate spark was the petty fight between two teenager students visited the village on Sunday, suggests the communal port and have been the सिमरिंग फॉर द मंथ। तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे आर्म फोर्स फ्रॉम द पैनल टू एग्जामिन द डिसेबिलिटी पेंशन। तो 36 से 40% ऑफ टोटल ऑफिसर रिटायर विद द डिसेबिलिटी कैग की रिपोर्ट दी गई है। इंडियन आर्म फोर्स हैव बीन द सेटअप टू इंटरिम सर्विस पैनल टू चेयर बाय द आर्मी एडजस्टमेंट जनरल AG एग्जामिन द डिफरेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ द डिसेबिलिटी पेंशन टू द पर्सनल टॉप ऑफिशियल फीमेलर विद द मैटर। द इंडियन एक्सप्रेस ने लर्न किया है। तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिया गया। आर्मी पर्सनल रिसीव हायर पे आउट अप टू 30% ऑफ देयर द पेंशन अनइमुलेटली डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द परसेंटेज ऑफ द डिसेबिलिटी, वेयर द एग्जैक्ट अमाउंट ऑफ टोटल डिसेबिलिटी पेंशन which also exempt from the income tax is not available. Source in the government said the grown stability over the last 2 decades was estimated around to the 4,000 crore in 2022-2023 and total defense pension for the 2023-2024 estimate to 1,38 lakh crore। तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे जो एग्जाम प्रोस्पेक्टिव से इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल्स होंगे हम उनको डिस्कस करने की कोशिश करेंगे। 300 कोप सिख इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसी 20-day ऑपरेशन दैट लीड टू द गैंगस्टर दीपक बॉक्सर अरेस्ट। जो दीपक पहले एलिस बॉक्सर, दिल्ली मोस्ट वांटेड गैंगस्टर एंड लीडर ऑफ द फेमस गोगी गैंग नियर द परफेक्ट एस्केप फ्रॉम द कैपिटल टू मॉस्को। इट वाज द desperate phone call to one of his associates saying that get me to America as soon as possible. How much longer I do have to wait? That is the hitch holding. On April 3, 27 years old was in a hotel in Moscow, Kachwan, when the two officers from the Delhi Police Special Cell ki sort of kike much with the shock and catch him to the with help of USA and Mexican agency. This is the first time the Delhi police was arrested a gangster in another country. तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे JDU chief host the Mahagabhathan worker for lunch at the Nitish trip to New Delhi. JDU National President Rajiv Rajan Singh Eka Lang Singh on Sunday hosted the lunch over the 25,000 worker 7 parties of the Mahagabhathan JDU, RJD, Congress, Hindustani Awami Morcha, Secular, CPI, CPIM Marxist and CPIM Liberation. The lunch was hosted at the Pokhara village, which was the corps of Bara and Mokran assembly segment under the Mogar Lok Sabha segment that he represents. The Bhari is the its will Lok Sabha constitutionally, which was once represented by the Bihar CM नीतीश कुमार. तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिया गया. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे अमूल बेस्ट नंदिनी as milk controversy heat up, the पुलिस ने ब्लो अप किया है कांग्रेस कंसर्न बीजेपी. ए मेजोरिटी ऑफ कर्नाटका मिल्क फेडरेशन के 24 lakh मिल्क प्रोड्यूसर कम फ्रॉम द ओल्ड मैसूर दैट इज पार्ट ऑफ द Bokilija belt where the Congress JDU hold the away. With the assembly election due to the within the month, political row over the entry of Amul and Gujarat State Milk Cooperative brand and Karnataka market his political implication for the ruling BJP and stand of the alliance as the crucial electoral vote bank. The opposition has alleged the Amul the entry and backed by the BJP will be posed to threaten by the Karnataka Milk Federation KMF brand Nandini. It is closely tied with the identify of the Kandagais. तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे इन ओल्ड मैसूर बीजेपी सीक टू द एंड JDU कांग्रेस सो एंड मेक टू द इन रोड ऑफ द Bokilija belt in region from the core base of the JDS, while the Congress is looking to resume its age after the tally fell in the last poll. One Union Minister Amit Shah launched a BJP Karnataka election campaign last December from the Mandya in the southern part of the state. The underlying message for the party worker that's clear. They were told to the make inroad all Mysore region that has been only seen to close contest between the Congress and Janata Dal secular and cross all the state assembly poll. BJP has struggled to cross the double digit mark in the 48 constituency in the region 8 district. तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे posting areas will be including border with Pakistan and China. At least 10% women officer will be inducted into the army artillery unit. At least जो 10% women officer की है every batch of commissioner into the army this year we onward will be inducted into the regiment of artillery beginning with fact of women officer joined by the force. Joining the force this month, the Indian Express land किया है. A measure of development army early this year have been decided to open artillery regime to women officer. Army Chief General Manoj Pandey ने announce किया था move in January this year and subsequently government ने give किया note to proposal last month. तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे if youth are leaving India in hope of the better life, it is matter of the concern. So last week Hardikwa Singh Sani है better known as the Deep Sani. Now the 68 created his history of thought after the taking over the principal and vice chancellor of the McGill University of Montreal. He is the first person of the Indian origin head of the 202 years old university in Canada, ranked 31 in the world, number 1 in Canada in the QS ranking 2023. He spoke the Divya Gopal on the risks of the brain drain and the need to the strength India higher education system. तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे PM नरेंद्र मोदी ने बोमानी एंड बेबली हु इज वर्क विद द फ्रेंड एलिफेंट इंस्पायर द ऑस्कर विनिंग डॉक्यूमेंट्री एलिफेंट विस्पर इन ए मधुमलाई टाइगर रिजर्व. तो उसके ऊपर फोटो दिए गए. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे काजल हिंदुस्तानी अरेस्ट ओवर द रामनवमी हेड स्पीच. जो काजल सिंघला एलाइज द काजल हिंदुस्तानी who have been the evading the arrest for the week after the CE was booked allegedly under making to head speech at the Una town in Gir Somnath district during the Nam Navami celebration was arrested Sunday after the surrendered at the Unnao टाउन पुलिस स्टेशन संडे मॉर्निंग लोकल कोर्ट ने सेंड किया है तो जुडिशियल कस्टडी, तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे पेरियार टाइगर रिजर्व गेट टॉप रैंक ऑन मैनेजमेंट रिव्यू नॉन पोर। तो पेरियार टाइगर रिजर्व इन केरला बेस्ट मेंटेन किया गया ऑल टाइगर रिजर्व इन द कंट्री अकॉर्डिंग टू फिफ्थ साइकिल ऑफ द मैनेजमेंट इफेक्टिव एवेल्यूशन MEE carried out by the center and released by the Sunday alongside with tiger census. The Periyar Reserve have been observed an MEE score of the 94.3%, closely behind to the Satpura Tiger Reserve in Madhya Pradesh and Bandipura in Karnataka and Nalargo in Karnataka, to उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे इंसिडेंट टुक प्लेस 10 days बिफोर द इधरा परसू मर्डर, फ्रेश केस अगेंस्ट द केलाखेरी as cattle transport alleged the stuntgun torture. Day after his arrest of the alleged murder of cattle trader Idira Pasra tracking to activities, Puneet Kheriwali has been booked alleged for torturing another cattle transport with the stun gun, तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे मुर्मू वॉक एक्स्ट्रा माइल फॉर द वनरेबल ट्राइब कम्युनिटी। प्रेसिडेंट द्रौपदी मुर्मू ने इंश्योर किया कि हर जर्नी फ्रॉम द रिमोट विलेज ऑफ ओडिशा मयूरभंज डिस्ट्रिक्ट ऑफ रानीसा हिल does not remain to here alone. Nearly 8 months since to the assume office, Murmu, the first person of tribal community, occupy the position, has made the special effort to the reach out to the most awkward tribal community during the visit of the state with the stretchable presence of the particular vulnerable tribal group PVTG. Make sure that he get to the audience with them and officially said, तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिया गया है। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल एडिटोरियल पेज की है। न्यू क्लासरूम एक्सपर्ट पैनल proposal to remove the border between arts, science and commerce is welcome. Next step is the empower to the teacher. तो नेक्स्ट एक्सपर्ट पैनल की अपॉइंटमेंट किए गए, सेंटर की सजेस्ट किए गए लॉन्ग ओवरड्यू स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द स्कूल एजुकेशन सिस्टम। लास्ट वीक द कम्युनिटी रिलीज द फ्री ड्राफ्ट नेशनल सर्कुलम फ्रेमवर्क फॉर द पब्लिक फीडबैक ऑन द रिकमेंडेशन व्हिच इंक्लूडिंग द गिविंग टू सीनियर secondary student to freedom to prefix mix of the arts, commerce and science subject. This is the flexibility of according to the multidisciplinary approach underlined to the NEP 2020. The NCF proposal access to the student if capable to class 10 to 12 through the examination over the 4 year and not on one board examination every year. Also the fit to the with NEP the vision of the holistic education. The changes will be enhanced through the role for the well-designed textbook and applicate to the NCP approach is also be greater role of the teacher, तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल पर राइट ऑफ द अपोजिशन, द टाइम टू कम रीऑर्गेनाइज अपोजिशन एंड फेडरल एंड स्टेट लेवल एंड डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल टू डाइवर्जन ऑफ प्रोटेक्शन। The last week Supreme Court refused entering to petition jointly filed by the 14 opposition party to context preserve the apprehensive the leader of opposition well-being to be obliged by the arbitrary use of law enforcement agency. The petition where the Indian National Congress, Dravid Mantura Kanjunga, राष्ट्रीय जनता दल, भारतीय राष्ट्रीय समिति, तृणमूल कांग्रेस, आम आदमी पार्टी, नेशनल कांग्रेस पार्टी, शिवसेना UBT, झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा, जनता दल यूनाइट, कम्युनिस्ट पार्टी ऑफ India CPI, CPI Arthist, Samajwadi Party and Jammu Kashmir National Conference and most of the parties of the various revival of the state level that is agreed to sign petition jointly itself expansional. While the refusing to allow to the petition, the court orally observed the political leader as a basic citizen and citizen or will be amended to the same law. Political leaders do not enjoy any immunity and bench further observing the lay down to the general guideline without the relation to the fact case will be dangerous, तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिया गया है। There is no argument for the expansionism of the political leader alone, but is rather to the centrality of the species of its democratic politics and observation of the dissenting and prescription of the space for it prevent to citizen and more so. They are the elected representative from the speaking truth to power and holding to executive to account, and fundamental expression of democracy is supposing that the opposition parties operate under the constitutional protection of the freedom of assembly and association and expression, तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे ऑफिसर राज. All the officers in the Jammu Kashmir will give convent free pass need to be held accountable. As the some details have emerged through the Kiran Patel saga and report as the newspaper, two things about it truly astonishing. One, the conman who pretend to be an official of the PMO, who is the designing tool, does not exist and that able to pull his the hawks in Jammu Kashmir on one of the most secret ties areas in world, and where the cross-border terrorism combined with the local military remaining to the potent threat. And two, no one have been the penalized yet to be outrageous breach of the security. And Pentel, who is finally arrested in March and visited the Union Territory 4 times from the October 2022, once with his family and two others occasion accompanied by the businessman soon with Hisses Pandya and senior official of Gujarat Chief Minister Office with the another business one, and one no one is visit a doctor who wanted to organize a conference in Polana. He used bulletproof vehicle and two escort vehicle and dozen of the security personnel from the Simila Sastrabal. And Patel held meeting with the official and projecting the power with nothing more than the visiting card and the false resignation. Stay in the 5-star accommodation. Austria in the administrative even allowed to the visit line of control. Uri recalled to the 15 years ago and man and named debate hardly pulled to the hawks in the Mumbai and charming his way to city social circulate, and he reached to the city from the 26/11 attack. What if Patel had been man with the more badly intent episode of the demonstrate compared fairly with institution of the mechanism that are supposed to be the place just for the prevent to such vulnerability, but it seemed to the general climate of the unaccountability and prevailed by Jammu Kashmir bureaucrat Raj in 2018 officials have been playing to marry with rule and no question have asked. तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल देंगे. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे ओल्ड अप्रोच न्यू पैक्ट. FTA 2.0 indicate to retain pre-1919 era in the trade relation. India seems to be one free trade agreement signed with negotiation spread. At least the 5 years Indian signed have 50 with Mauritius in UAE and interim one was Australia. India is currently negotiating with the FTA with UK, European Union, Canada, Israel. Since the trade and investment are exactly linked, especially when the objective is built global value chain and country signed to FTA is legalized should fully amount government of international economy relation between the themselves. FTA create the building international rule on trade and investment. Through this rule, state expect to instrument of the international law to be held accountable for the foreign conduct and trade and investment in international law, increasing the cost of the state and to act unilaterally, thus the unsharing of predictability on certainty of international economy relations. तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिया गया. Before the 1991, India looked at the both foreign investment and international law on it with some mistrust. Today, India respectfully seeks the foreign investment, but the especially about the international investment law (IIL) and decoupling of the international trade law from the IIL is not the syncing with the approach of Indian current and potential FTA partner countries. How India will be trade with this FTA 2.0 path remaining to be seen. Next articles पे जो ideas पेज है building the blue economy. India must learn from China and invest in deep water fishing fleet and modernizing the fishing harbor. This could be help the transfer fishery involve the relation with the neighbor. So India Sri Lanka, despite her over the right to the Palk Strait and water body separate the Tamil Nadu from the Jaffna region in the Sri Lanka, has been the emotion issue of long standing. It evolved to loud campaigning from the Chennai, and which is often to diplomatic force and between the Colombo and New Delhi. Indo-Sri Lanka Maritime Boundary Agreement signed in 1974 and 1976 allowed to the fishermen of both nations to enjoy each of order such as a right to they have to traditional enjoy therein. Since the maritime border lack of physical democratic, the role of the fishing activity during the civil war of Sri Lanka encouraged to Indian fishermen to the encourage into the Sri Lanka water. With end of the hostile in 2009, the Sri Lanka fishing community sought to the reclaim their the right and bringing them into the conflict with the Indian fisher intervention by the Sri Lanka navies have often resulted to the arduous situation and arrest the even facial shooting of the Indian fishermen. With the downing the fisher dug and rising to fuel cost and growing the tension, the fisher communities, both countries are the acute to distress, but the remaining conflict with the past state of lack of the financial that will be by them to the sea-going traveler and to means to be venture forth on high sea. In this article is the however not about to the India-Sri Lanka dispute, but it is underlying the causes of the neglect by the Indian and Sri Lanka of the fishing industry remedy which may also be help to resolve the dispute. तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल दिए नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे पॉवर्टी मिस्ट्री. Did the poverty decline during the pandemic? Frequently interference of the statistical system make it difficult to have correct assessment of what really happened. On April 4, this paper is carried out the report after the pandemic. Poverty kept falling every quarter from the journalist September 2020, highlighting the striking claim by the Arvind Prangria and the Vaislu Moore hereafter the PM, and that poverty came down during the pandemic year 2021 when compared to the previous year. Two severe wave of COVID and associated of economic disruption caused by the lockdown, so the economy contracting 5.8% in 2021. Yet to the PM better match to the standing claim the based on data of consumption of expenditure and collect a part of the predictive labor force survey PLFS conducted in 2017 to 18 onward, and number of the recent paper have come up to diversion of claim the trend in the poverty and attempt to the PM used to the PLFS data is now new, but to the deserved complication for the retiring the data fully comparable to the early employment unemployment survey US and NSO, that is the suffer from the non-one is the flow the designing and representative. There is also right to the point out to the credibility of publicly available data and benefit of the scrutiny and oversight of scholar and transaction against to the particularly collect data and the emphasis on the necessary using of comparable estimate of the consumption and expenditure to arrive to the correct estimate of poverty is correct. तो उसके ऊपर आर्टिकल देगा. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे द ट्री जंक्शन प्रॉब्लम trialogue involving India, China, Bhutan can be bring clarity on this border dispute. जो Bhutan China border agreement was the underlying recently in statement by the Bhutanese Prime Minister during the Europe tour was the interpreted differently. Bhutan and India and China and media in Bhutan claim the kingdom has been the equal claim to negotiation as India and China, emphasizing the limitation of the small state cap to the overburden of strategic discourage in South Asia. In India, it was reported to construct a village by the China along to the Amchu River. Struggle to Bhutan was the catered territory to China. Meanwhile, the Chinese media claimed that the India was the main obstruction in formal demarcation of Bhutan-China boundary. The ambiguity have been part of the strategic tricolor over the natural border, lack of the clarity about the mountain passes and referred to the as functional route and anti-route, and the particularly strategic mafia. The Chambi Valley for one is strenuous and the treacherous mountain fountain inhospitable but not insurmountable, important to strategic and economic region, and the significant resolution value given to proximity to Amchu River and also known the Bhutanese route to Tibet. It's short and easy route to the open communication line with Tibet. तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल देंगे. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे ऑन ईस्टर संडे केरला बीजेपी आउट टू किस्टन एंड ड्रॉ फायर फ्रॉम द CPIM कांग्रेस outreach conference to the prominent Catholic opposition outbreaks just to the rack of the attack on churches. बीजेपी ने लंच किया आउटरीच प्रोग्राम ऑफ ईस्टर संडे में एज अ पार्ट ऑफ दिस रिपोर्ट टू गेन थी होल्ड among the Kerala Christian community, with the party leader visiting the bishop of the Catholic Church and few of the selected faithful in the several parts of the state, and senior leaders flitted in out of the bishop's house and serving Easter greeting from the Prime Minister Narendra Modi on social media. Various official pages of the BJP will file with the images of the restructured Jewish and Easter egg. तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए. नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पर मिनिस्टर ऑफिशियल अपॉइंटमेंट थ्रू द UPSC एज द डेकोइट. The senior BJP leader and central minister Biswarath Tirudhu was the continued controversy, claiming that many of the officers appointed through the Union Public Service Commission are the dacoits. तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए. Now पाक इन्फ्लिट्रेटर किल एंड 2 कैप्चर आर्मी ने कहा है. uninterrupted was killed and 2 others are the captured alive as the army forcefully measure infiltration B to the line of control जम्मू कश्मीर पुंछ डिस्ट्रिक्ट में कहा गया है, तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। और Jojila tunnel may be ready by the December 2026. The construction work underway the Asia longest by directional Jojila tunnel Bital area and Gabriel on Sunday. A total of the 6 km work of the 14.2 km Jojila tunnel near the height of the 11,575 feet above the sea level underway according to project manager, and tunnel will be the complete by the December 2026. Jojila tunnel along the with another J mouth tunnel in the Sangomara area in the Granville, which will be inaugurated by the Union Minister Nitin Gadkari on April 10, will be the metro strategic Srinagar Leh National Highway connecting the Kashmir region to Ladakh region all weather road। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे Kudim's lift rail blockade allowed to the person movement NH. A day after the rail and road blockade by the Kudimi community in West Bengal, situations east on the Sunday evening, and the protest led to the rail blockade and the partially withdrawal of the blockade on the Priscilla National Highway 6 connect to Kolkata with Mumbai। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल जो एक्सप्लेन किए Presidento. Two conflict court ruling of the appeal in the USA have increasing the uncertainty over the access of the safe abortion. To access to most commonly used method of the abortion as United States was plunged into uncertainty on Friday following the conflict of court ruling over the legality of medication Pregenton, which within been widely available more than the 20 years. U.S. District Magistrate Northern District of the Texas Matthew Kaspersky Donald Trump appointment in order to halt the federal approval of the Miss Pregenton, and same day the district judge of the Eastern District of the Washington Thomas O. Rice and the appointed of the Barack Obama directed to authorities to not to take any changes that will be restrict access to drug of the 17 state. The Miss Princeton received the Food and Drug Administration approval in 2000। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे what the LIGO India will do. The LIGO India will be India in global network, the lab of detect to study the gravitational wave, and LIGO is historical milestone. India is never built to the cutting edge scientific facility of the scale on the soil, and it can be have huge spin of benefit to country science and technology sector. The government has given a final go-ahead to the Indian Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory LIGO, the project leading to the construction project country biggest scientific facility that will be joint ongoing the global project to the proof into universal by the detecting and studying gravitational law, and LIGO is an international network of the laboratories that detect the pre-fall of the space-time products by the movement of the larger celestial object like a star and planets, and these ripple are the fast polyester of the Albert Einstein general theory of relativity and encapsulate currently understanding the how gravitational work. And LIGO will be India will located the Hanguli district of Maharashtra about to the 450 km east of Mumbai, and scheduled to the begin scientific run from the 2023 where it that you need to be know the gravitation Einstein general theory of relativity, and this is the proposal of scientific of the LIGO project। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे in Spain evidence of the Bronze Age human took psychopathic drugs. The Bronze Age human have been the credit with number of the civilization advancement and invention of irrigation and wheel and writing system, and availability of the forged weapon and tool from the durable metal that given to the era in this name. Now the stand of the human yet discovered and the ancient rural cave of the Spain struggle to another novelty, the proclivity of the consumption of psychopathic drugs। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे changes of the NCF 2023 draft proposal in school education system. The school education system in India may be undergone major restriction with the expert committee appoint किए गए यूनियन गवर्नमेंट के रिकमेंड करेंगे बोर्ड एग्जाम ट्वेस a year and semester system to class 12 and freedom to the student proposed a mix of science, humanities and commerce subject. On Tuesday, Ministry of Education released a pre-draft national curriculum and work on school education. For feedback from the public following the expansion draft will be finalized after the further discussing involve the National Steering Committee and led by the former इसरो चेयरमैन के कस्तूरिंगमा। तो उसके रिलेटेड ये आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट पेज पे जो इकोनॉमिक की है, have raised term to deposit rate in since May 2023. Bank keeping saving deposit rate unchanged in currently cycle. RBI ने कहा है the current rate hike cycle may begin to the May 2022 so the 250 basis point hike in the repo rate. Bank have the almost keep the interest rate of saving deposits unchanged. However, they have the raised term deposit rate during the period. Increasing in term of deposit rate in current tightening cycle have expected to the in lending rate and saving the deposit rate to the bank, which are the third of the total deposit. However, the remaining almost unchanged in current tightening period, according to the Reserve Bank of India Monetary Policy Report (MPC) for the April released last week। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे इंजीनियरिंग ऑलवेज अबाउट टू द ऑप्टिमाइजिंग पेट्रोल मोर ऑप्टेबल डीजल इज आउट। द CB Raman, Chief Technology Officer Maruti Suzuki, कहा कि पेट्रोल इंजन हैज बीन द advantage of the being to adapt to multiple driving of combination and ultimate fuel that have to the potential improve efficiency and lower the car footprint, including the hybrid CNG and ethanol flex fuel and flex fuel hybrid compressed biogas and hydrogen CNG. On the sideline of the test drive event of the new Forex, Raman said the interaction with Anil Sasi, that is the company of new liter turbo petrol booster jet engine, which is now been the localized to the induct into the new offering, will be the progressive of the fire with the other model M2 diesel, according him, and completely out of the equation as per of the country largest car maker concerned। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल पे FPI कंटिन्यू सेल ऑफ द पुल आउट इंडियन इक्विटीज वर्थ ऑफ द 37,631 करोड़ इन फाइनेंशियल ईयर 23 after withdrawing record fund of the 2021-2022 foreign report portfolio investment continued sale of the last physical 2 and pull out to the 37,631 crore in from Indian equity and the aggressive rate hike in the central bank globally। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे लंडन लाइकली बी पोस्ट बूस्ट Q4 PSB must test to the 1 lakh crore in financial year 23. Banking sector likely be post good number of the fourth quarter ended March 2023. Total profit of the public sector bank expected to touch a record high in 1 lakh crore in financial year 23 by the decline in bad loans and hard rate loan growth। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। और गोल्ड इंपोर्ट डिप की गई 30% टू द $31.8 बिलियन इन अप्रैल टू फरवरी 2023 ईयर। इंडिया की गोल्ड इंपोर्ट है व्हिच हैव बीन एवरिंग टू कर्टनिंग amount deficit fell to 30% from the 31.8 billion during the April-February 2023 due to the high custom duty and global economic uncertainty, according to data from the Commerce Ministry। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। और गवर्नमेंट ने स्पेसिफाई किया है रिटेल प्राइस बेस्ड ऑन द GST सेच ऑन द पान मसाला एंड तंबाकू। गवर्नमेंट ने स्पेसिफाई रिटेल स्पेशल प्राइस बेस्ड GST सीच रेट हाइक किए गए दैट विल बी लिफ्ट ऑन द पान मसाला एंड तंबाकू मैन्युफैक्चर रिपोर्ट ऑन द April 1 the departure from the early regiment of the import tax over the above 28% good and service tax rate of the ad hoc basis। और Sequence Capital India looking for the partial exit ahead of the gestation period। जो Sequel Capital India arm of the Silicon Valley Fund के backed by the Apple and Google is looking to the partial exit from the some of the portfolio companies ahead of the gestation period, and virtually capital firm is looking to unlock the value of Indian companies such as Car Dekho, Delhi Hunt, Health Art, Meso and Healthkit, Ligjo and Turtle Mint among others, and ready to match themselves for the initial public offering। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट पेज जो वर्ल्ड की है सेकेंड डे ऑफ ड्रिल, चाइना ने सिमुलेट किया है प्रिसीजन स्ट्राइक अगेंस्ट द ताइवान। 17 Chinese aircraft and 11 ships spotted so far। The Chinese military simultaneously precision strike against the Taiwan for second day of drill around the island of the Sunday, with the island's defense ministry reporting multiple air force shot and it will be monitoring China missile force। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। Sunak meet to the President Biden tomorrow in Northern Ireland। ब्रिटिश प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऋषि सुनाक मीट करेंगे जो बाइडेन को नॉर्दर्न आयरलैंड में नेक्स्ट वीक में व्हेन द यूएस प्रेसिडेंट फायर टू द टेक पार्ट ऑफ इवेंट मार्क ऑफ द 25th एनिवर्सरी ऑफ गुड फ्राइडे पीस अकॉर्ड। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। और इजराइल अनलिस्ट किए गए रिटेलिएशनरी जेट ऑन द सीरिया आफ्टर द ओवरनाइट रॉकेट स्ट्राइक। An explosion erupted in Damascus as Israel claimed Syria fired 6 rockets Saturday night। जो इसराइल के जेट ने हिट किया है सीरियन मिलिट्री टारगेट टू संडे रिस्पॉन्स टू रॉकेट लॉन्च और टुवर्ड द इजराइल कंट्रोल टेरिटरी ओवरनाइट एंड इजराइल मिलिट्री ने कहा है वायलेंस लिफ्टेड अगेन फॉलोइंग द क्रॉस बॉर्डर एक्सचेंज इन द फायर ऑफ द वीक एंड स्टेट मीडिया ऑफ सीरिया रिपोर्ट की गई एक्सप्लोजन इन द विसिनिटी ऑफ द कैपिटल Damascus as the Israel said to the force continue to hit Syrian territory after the 6 rockets were the fire over the toward the Golan Heights। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। A thousand of the joint anti-legal overhaul protests in Israel despite to the shadow of attack। The tens of thousands Israelis joined in a protest of the Saturday against the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu plan to the tighten control of Supreme Court and despite to the highlight security worries आफ्टर टू अटैक डे अर्लियर। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेपाल के पीएम सस्पेंड किए गए फॉर आस्किंग ऑफ डोनेशन टू द सिक्योर मिनिस्ट्रियल ब्रीथ एंड मेंबर ऑफ द हाउस एंड रिप्रेजेंटेटिव बिलोंग टू द राष्ट्रीय स्वतंत्र पार्टी RSP हैज बीन सस्पेंड आफ्टर द ऑडियो लीक टू व्हिच allegedly asking hospital owner to the 20 million which needed to pay the party leadership by to the ministerial breath in last गवर्नमेंट। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। और यूके में इंडियन ओरिजिन बीडर गेयर ऑफ द हेड टू हेड फॉर मेयर इलेक्शन। टू इंडियन ओरिजिन कैंडिडेट आर लाइन अप टू द गेयर हेड टू हेड फॉर द पोस्ट ऑफ द लीजियर मेयर ऑफ द लोकल इलेक्शन कमिंग अप टू द यूके अर्ली नेक्स्ट मंथ। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। और कैबिनेट टू टेक पाक पंजाब पोल फंड मैटर इन हाउस। जो इमरजेंसी मीटिंग की गई फेडरल कैबिनेट की संडे में टू decide to the take of the parliament matter to providing fund for the election commission of Pakistan ECP holding to the polls in political crucial Punjab position in May 14 to director Supreme Court according to the media report। तो उसके रिलेटेड आर्टिकल दिए गए। नेक्स्ट आर्टिकल्स पे स्पोर्ट किए तो आज के द इंडियन एक्सप्रेस न्यूज़ एनालिसिस भी इतनी। वीडियो पसंद तो वीडियो को लाइक करना, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें।